You must be as thrilled as President Trump that Mueller's inquiry, which Democrats hoped would finally pin some blame on him personally, has said he's completely in the clear.
Yeah, and it vindicates the president, and it says what he's been saying for more than 2 years. Is the moment he got elected, we were in New York, remember, and sitting there looking at Times Square the night he was elected, and Democrats couldn't understand or fathom how he was elected, and they immediately started talking about impeachment. They immediately started saying, well, he didn't win the popular vote, which doesn't matter. And then they said, we're going to investigate him because of Russia collusion. And they went all in on this one, and now they all look like ignorant fools and idiots that are completely incompetent of facts. And now the president and what he's been saying all along, which is there is no collusion, this is a witch hunt. You have the deep state in this country that went after me, and I literally was elected to challenge the status quo of Washington, and they tried to destroy me. He's now been vindicated of that. I mean, this is good for this country because you had Democrats that tried to overthrow a man that won an election in a free and fair election. They made up a conspiracy. They made up a lie. It never added up, yet they kept pushing it. And they had many in the media supporting this and advocating for it. And now they have egg on their face, and I'm glad because they're a bunch of morons.
Okay. Eric Guster, you are not a Democrat. You're an independent. But you
He's
must...
a Democrat.
I am.
You must have been as surprised as...
You're an idiot, but that's...
I am.
How dare you call Susanna Reid an idiot, Eric?
No. I'm talking about Ben, not Susanna.
Okay.
But we can talk about that.
Let's try not to make this personal between you both.
I think that ship has sailed. But anyway, come on.
But I've been an independent voter for many years, but I do not support Trump. But I will say this, in reference to this investigation, I am very thrilled that the President of the United States did not collude with Russia. I am thrilled that he did not collude with them.
Are you,
a lot of Democrats, they do have egg on their faces.
Are you pleased that that's the conclusion?
I am. I am, because to think that the President of the United States colluded with almost a person, an entity, a country who does not have our best interests at heart to win an election, that really, you're an idiot. You should listen sometime.
You got to let it go, man.
He
just
did
said
not,
almost,
because
which
he
is
did
the
not.
crap you guys have been doing.
Shut up and let me speak. God, are you all, please cut his mic off. As I was saying, to know that the President of the United States did not collude with Russia, who is pretty much our arch enemy and the country that is on the opposite sphere of what we believe in, is really relieving. However, there are a lot of things that this report did not cover. There are a lot of things in reference to financial crimes that they did not get into. You have to consider that people very close to the president pled guilty. So there are questions such as, why did these people lie? Why did Michael Cohen lie? Roger Stone lie? Why did Paul Manafort lie? Those are big questions for the people around him. And there are other things that are...
This is Trump derangement syndrome right here, Piers.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I mean, here's my argument about this, and it's this, Eric, is that I've said for 2 years that this Russia collusion thing, I never saw any evidence emerge. I saw lots of noise.
Bingo.
And I saw lots of the media in America looking like they were desperate for this to be true. But there was never any evidence. And what's happened overnight is that we now have official confirmation that whether you love Trump or hate him, that he did not collude, nor did any of his campaign team, with the Russians to fix that election. That is good news for America, good news for American democracy. But it's very, very bad news, I would argue, for the Democrats. And the reason is this, is that actually...
it is?
Well, hang on, Eric, let me say this. The reason and I know you're not a Democrat, so I'm not blaming you for this, but the howling and the screaming and the hysteria about Trump, all it's done has played into his hands. And right now, Donald Trump can come out and say, I told you, they were all lying, it was fake news, it's a witch hunt, and we are now heading quite fast towards the next election. And Donald Trump has just seen ISIS defeated... Wait a minute, Eric. He's seen ISIS defeated in Syria over the weekend, as he promised, right? He's seen the economy really ticking along very nicely, thank you. And now he's seen the #1 attack on him, the Russia collusion campaign, completely collapsing. You know, if you're Donald Trump, you're pretty well, I would say you're 95% home and dry to get re-elected. And the Democrats have only themselves to blame.
And I agree with you. One of the big problems with the Democratic Party is that they have not had a consistent, solid message. It's just been anti-Trump. And they put all their eggs in this one basket about this collusion thing that is blown up in their faces. Now they have to regroup, and they have to come up with some solid messaging that will resonate with the American people. People who like Trump or dislike Trump, it doesn't matter. It's about messaging and what a party can do for them. And Trump, he started with a solid message to his base. He's delivered on part of that message, and it's made it very difficult for Democrats from this point forward.
Ben,
and 2020 is going to be very rough.
Let me ask you, Ben, as a Trump fan, and I like Trump personally. He's not really my politics, but I like him personally. But what I would say if I was advising Trump right now is, look, you've had this amazing home run today, right? It's an absolute slam dunk, to use another sporting metaphor. It couldn't get better for you than the whole thing being thrown out in the way that it has. However, he spent the last week engaged in the most pathetic, petty attacks on Senator John McCain. He's been dead for months,
John
right?
McCain.
And when I see that, I'm like, Donald, for goodness sake, cut out this petty nonsense, because all it does is diminish.
The president's got to stay focused.
It diminishes the good stuff he is doing.
Yeah, and look, and what I would say is don't give the media the narrative they need to get off the story. I mean, Democrats aren't going to let this go. They're still going to investigate him in the House. You just heard Andrew use the same talking points he said the Democrats don't need to use, and they need to get a good message, yet he was saying, well, there's all these financial crimes. Everyone that was charged with crimes around Donald Trump, the crimes that they were charged with had nothing to do with Donald Trump. It was their own personal business dealings that had nothing to do also, again, with collusion. Not one single person was charged with collusion. And the other thing is here, the American people are smart. They know what this investigation was about. It was go after people close to Trump, squeeze them, do whatever you can to force them to give you possible bad or damaging, I should say, information on the president. That didn't even pan out for them. They abused their power. They abused the government's reach. They took 2 years to do this and $37 million of taxpayer money to go after attacking a president, that all because he won an election over Hillary Clinton. And the Democrats have got a problem because they're not going to stop this investigation. Every Democrat was on TV yesterday that was saying, we're still going to investigate. Investigate what?
Okay.
There's nothing left to investigate except your hatred.
Financial crimes.
So keep it up and watch him win re-election.
There's definitely a need to investigate financial crimes. Okay. Absolutely, because Donald Trump
isn't. That's what I'm saying. This is a Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes, there is. That is what Michael Cohen, Roger Stone, they lied about several things in reference to financial cases.
Guster,
I never said it was
Guster, can I just
Congress
ask,
too, man. He lied to Congress. You want to quote him as your witness?
Eric, hang on, Eric. There is a problem, isn't it? Because it does now, since he's been exonerated, it does now look a little bit desperate and on the back foot for the Democrats to keep going on this. And you've already said they need to focus on something that's not hitting Trump. They've got to regroup, haven't they? Where is the hope now for the Democrats, as the next presidential election looks like it might be stitched up for President Trump?
It will be very tough for the Democrats. But one thing I want to make sure that we're clear on, this report does not fully exonerate him. The Mueller report clearly states that he's not fully exonerated.
It's insane, you guys.
No, it does not. If you shut up and read, maybe you can read it. It does not say he's fully exonerated.
I've read the report.
There's not enough evidence to bring.
The DOJ
if there's not enough evidence. If there's not enough evidence to charge him, he did not say that. However, the Democrats, they have to come up with a solid message. They have to come up with a solid, likable candidate in order to overturn Trump and his re-election bid. It's going to be very tough because Trump right now, he has the momentum. He has the I told you so. And all the Democrats have put all their eggs in his basket and it's blown up in their face, and they're in big trouble.